Hi, this is the LIS753 4 p.m. office hours session. Um, if you want to join in, you need to send me your Google Plus ID and I'll invite you. I'm going to turn my camera and mic off and just hang out for a little bit and wait to see if anyone wants to join in. Hey, Kishana, I saw your I don't know if you're watching, but I just invited you.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
good, how are you?
Stressed.
Yeah.
A little stressed.
Okay,
Um,
well,
yeah. I still can't get my links to work, and I read the article you sent, and I changed it, and it's still not linking.
Okay, let me pull up your zip file again.
Oh, do I need to resend it?
No, I'll just get it out of my email. Wait. Okay, let's look at one of the files together. Which one do you want to start with?
8?
Wait,
Because,
is that the one called herbs?
yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't know how to do that.
So I'm looking for a link here.
How do I bring it up at the same time?
Okay, so while you're bringing it up, like this link back to home,
Uh-huh.
well, that works.
So I tried to even put, because no, it's just index.html. So I did ahref equals herbs.html,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not working.
From index.
From the index, from exercise 7?
Wait, so, oh, you know what? Can you send me the entire zip of everything? Because you just sent the website folder, but I think you're leaving out, wait, the one you sent me doesn't have exercise 7 in it. But that's the one called index.
Right.
Okay, right, okay. So if you're in index, let me open that.
Because I went back and I changed it in all of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just try to share my screen, and I'll show you what I was trying to explain in that
Okay.
email. Can you hear me okay? The door's open, so there's like
Yes.
some traffic. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, and this is your page, and here's that link to herbs.
Right. So you told me to change that one.
Yeah,
And
so
I did.
and it should just look like that.
Right. But it's still not working.
Let me try it. So here we are at index, and I just changed it, and now it links to herbs.
Mine's not linking. It says, when I changed it, now it says, uh-oh. You know that uh-oh screen that you get in Forge?
Mm-hmm. So you're looking in Forge. Maybe the change. Can you send me the URL to the Forge page?
Yes.
Just like drop it in the chat.
Okay. To figure out how to do that. Um,
Or is that the page that you shared with me?
I'm not sure. He said drop it into the chat. Let's see. How do I do that?
Or just IM it to me
Okay.
through Google. That's fine.
There's a backup. What am I doing? Oh, that's because I'm clicking on your thing.
Okay. So here we are. And I just want to take a look at what... Okay, so back to my screen. There's something going on here because... can you see this? Is this big enough?
Yeah, I can see it.
So I'm just inspecting that element, and you see how there's like
Oh, I didn't update it.
there's like two sets of quotes, and then it
Uh-huh.
says website / herbs. So this is really tricky, but actually it's...
Just one.
Yeah, but what I think is going on is you copied and pasted from my email or something like that, and what's happening is you're copying in these curly quotes. You see how the second
Oh.
one is like it's kind of curled.
Uh-huh.
That's a weird like special fancy typography thing that it's supposed to look better for print, but
Oh, I see.
it's not the right quotation mark for the website, for the browser.
It's
So
always
that's another thing that you need to fix.
okay. Well, let's do that. I always have these crazy little issues that I would never figure out ever.
Yeah, it takes a while of just like seeing these kinds of mistakes to get used to know what you're looking for. If you look at my screen again, like you can see the difference between like this one, companion planting, and this one, house.
Uh-huh.
See how like those are slanty quotes and these are straight?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're using the straight ones all the time.
Okay. Okay, let me save it and make sure it's working now. Um, Yep, now it's working.
Okay, cool.
I swear, this is crazy.
Well, yeah, it seems a little crazy. Everything just needs to be, those little details can really throw things off.
And then my other question was, with exercise 9,
Mhm.
I think I'm confused on what the end product should look like.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you had an example.
I had a printout of the exercises. That's the grids one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because I saw how how it is when you look at the example, but it just had like a grid going sideways and then the numbers in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was confused on how I was supposed to get it to look like that. Because I even
Well,
downloaded the code and I was trying to, I didn't know what I was supposed to plug in.
yeah, so let me pull up the examples just so I have them here to look at while we're talking. Um, you're talking about the examples in those,
When you
like the,
download the 960, um, it gives you like a pack of all the templates.
right, right, okay. I'm just pulling that up now.
Okay.
What? I just tried downloading it and it's like the zip file was empty. Hang on. There's something wrong with that file now.
What if we all took took it?
um,
Where is it? It is.
oh, now I see it.
Okay.
So let's start by, why don't, I'll share my screen again. I just want to make sure I know what you're looking at because I'm not sure I do. Um, wait. Okay, so here's that grid, 960 grid
Right.
package. So where's the example you were looking at?
I went under code,
Why does it? Oh, there we go. Okay.
and then I went to, I want to say it was demo.
Okay.
Or was it demo right to left? Right.
Okay.
So I didn't understand.
Yeah. Okay. This demo is only helpful if you kind of have some background on what the 960 grid system is. Um, also, this is really helpful for you to. The demo is going to be really helpful if you look at the code, but not necessarily just by looking at this picture. But let me just give you a quick overview so you're up to speed. The 960 grid system is, well, it assumes that you're going to be making a fixed width 960 pixel wide page.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what this entire like white and pink box is. This is the 960 pixel width page.
Okay.
And then the grid layout is built on these 4 columns, these 12 columns, which are in pink.
Okay.
And so what you're going to be doing with the grid system, this type of thing is called a CSS framework.
Oh,
And it's supposed to make your life easier, and it does. It makes it makes it a lot easier to make boxes and columns in CSS, but you just need to learn the framework first. So what you're going to be doing when you're building pages with the grid system is deciding, like, let's say you want a column, like a sidebar. You need
okay.
to decide how many of these columns of the grid that sidebar is going to occupy.
Okay.
So let's say you want a column that's like, a quarter, 25% wide. That's going to be 3 columns on a 12-column grid.
Right.
1, 2, 3. And then let's pull up the code, uh, the developer tools to inspect the code. So you can see this 220 box fills the 3 pink columns.
Uh-huh.
And if you inspect the element, you see that it's using the class grid 3.
Okay.
So grid 3 just means fill up 3 spaces
Oh,
in
okay.
this 12-column grid. And they all do that. So then the one next to it is a 9, grid 9, because it occupies
The
the
rest
next
of the grid.
9 spaces. Now, in order for any of this to work, you need every column, every set of columns needs to fit in this container called container 12. So the
Okay.
entire page, like the entire element that gets, the entire 960 element gets this container 12 class, and then the child divs get a number, grid 1 through grid 12, depending on how many columns you want to make.
Uh-huh.
Does that make more sense?
It does. It's just not clear, I don't think, in the explanation of it.
Okay.
So when I go home to try to do it, because I tried to start it yesterday and I just did not know where to begin. And I'm
Okay.
afraid that when I get home again, because I tried to read different things, but I just wasn't getting it.
Okay. Why don't we do a quick sample right now,
Okay.
and then I can send it to you when we're finished, and you can have that to work with.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back. So the only file I really need out of here is, let me make sure I'm getting the right files. So I'm going to grab this 960 CS file, and so I don't know if you've looked at this yet. You'll never touch this 960 file, but this has all the stuff pre-built, and that's what makes it a framework. So then what we need is the index file. You know what, I'm just going to copy, I'm going to take one of your index files and just save it as my own. Then let's make sure we're adding the 960 CSS file.
And that should always be first, because you wanted to grab the stuff from the 960 first before it goes to the other style sheet.
Yeah, that's a good practice. In this case, I don't think it would really matter, but my habit, and I think this is pretty standard, is to put all of the all the stuff that you're borrowing, like the stuff that you're getting from elsewhere, like any frameworks or whatever, first, and then put your custom stuff last.
Okay.
So here, actually, I'm going to just take out everything you've done,
Okay.
so just to make the demo a little simpler. So now we want, I'm going to indent a few of these lines just to make it a little more readable. So now we want on the body, class equals, actually we don't need to do this on the body. It would probably be better to do something like this, div ID. And then give your main class container 12. And this is going to tell main to be 960 pixels and centered in the middle of the page.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add some more styles here. To just help us visually. So main, let's do body, back. Let's just do like a dark gray background. Oops, why did it? All right, a black background, that's fine. Main should have background white. Okay, and now let's have another div in here. Main content. This is like kind of a subtle point, but I realized as I was doing this that it's actually better to put the main content before the sidebar if possible. So I'll change that, and then let's give oops. The content div can have grid 9, and then the sidebar div can have class equals grid 3, and 9 plus 3 is 12, so I know that these two columns are going to occupy all 12 columns available.
Okay.
Let's get like some dummy text just so we can see some content in there. So we'll put the dummy text in a big paragraph, and I'll just do the same thing for sidebar. And I'll save and then cross my fingers and open it in the browser. Cool. So
Okay.
now I have a 9 out of 12, so 75% wide main column, and then a 25% wide sidebar.
Yes. Okay.
And what's cool about the grid system is like you as the author don't have to worry about floats or margins or like, you know, relative positioning or anything like that. The grid system just takes care of it all for you.
Oh, that does seem much easier. But looking at it, I was like, I idea what this is.
Yeah. And then what's also really cool about it is like you see I put the content first in the document, which is good for like accessibility and search engines. But let's say instead of having a right sidebar, let's say I want a left sidebar. I don't have to change. Wait. Oh, never mind. Yeah, forget what I was about to say. some grid systems allow you to allow you to really easily put the bottom content on the right, but here we would have to actually just flip that around.
So it has to be a 3 and then a 9.
Yeah, so they go in order. So the first one will occupy the first 3 spaces in this case, and then the next one will occupy the next 9 spaces. So if I save that and refresh, I get a right sidebar.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then, like, let's say I want the sidebar to be a little wider. I can change this to grid 4,
And then the other one to 8.
and then the other one gets bumped down to 8, exactly. And then it changes.
Okay. So with it having the 9, or with the container size being 12, and I have the 2 things split, if I wanted another paragraph, I would just, or another, like I wanted something under the content part, would I make the grid and the grid smaller? Like, can I break it up into, or would you just use 2 grid lines?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can do a couple different things. You can do basically an empty div. I need to look this up real quick. It's called, I think it's called.
Oh, clear. Yeah, I did.
There's a class called clear. Yeah, that's all you have to do is just, you can have an empty div with the class called clear, and then you can end basically. So notice how this div, just to make it more obvious, it just has nothing in it.
Okay.
But it's going to act as like a break point to start a new grid.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe you don't want, maybe you want to do a footer down here or something. So this doesn't even have to have 2 columns. You see that now? So I did this bottom one, I gave it grid 12, and that clear div is in the middle, and so now it kind of looks like a footer.
Okay. So after the 9 and the 8 and the 4, you did a clear div, and then you can start over.
And then you start over. Yeah, you have 12 more available.
Oh, I see.
So maybe you want to do. I'm just kind of going through this and thinking off the cuff a little bit. But maybe you want 3, or no, it would be, if you want to break it into thirds, you could do 4, 4, and 4, and then you get 3 even columns.
Okay.
So you can do all kinds of crazy things relatively easily, and that's what makes these systems really cool.
Okay. Yeah, that helps a whole lot, because I swear I was sitting at the table like, yeah, I don't know about this one.
It's like, I don't know, did you play with Legos or blocks or anything as a
Unfortunately, I did not.
See, to me, this feels a lot like playing with Legos or something, because you just put the blocks. It's like each of these divs is just a different width of block.
Okay. Now that makes sense. With looking at the chart, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here at all.
Yeah. A lot of times those demos are actually meant for you to inspect the code rather than look at it visually. But if you're not used to that kind of thing, I can see where it would be confusing.
Yeah, that helped tremendously.
Cool. I'm going to share this with you. Oh, but just to follow up, another thing you can do, so we inserted this clear div, and that's fine, we can do that. But you can also go, outside of the container. So I have this container 12. I can start a new container 12.
And that will follow all of this.
Right. So you can have as many of these containers as you want. And let's say I want this one to be the footer. So, wait. Why aren't you showing up? Right. Why aren't, he's not showing up? Container 12. Oh, right. This one's not showing up because it's right there, but there's a black
Oh, the black
background. So let's give footer a white background. And so now this is my new container. So you can have as many of these containers as you want.
And all of the styling goes into here. Oh, no, okay, never mind.
Well, just to keep it simple for this demo, I put some styles right here. But, you know, you should probably, when you're doing this, you should probably put the styles just in your custom style sheet.
Okay. I remember. Sometimes my style sheet doesn't seem to be working properly either. But I'll look back at that later. But yeah, this helps for sure.
Good. So then, just to follow up, you know, it's funny, like these kinds of systems, these frameworks, they tend to have, from my observation, from my perspective, they seem to have a pretty short shelf life. And actually, like this 960 grid system is kind of not very popular right now anymore.
Really?
Yeah, so it seems like it's already sort of lived out its lifespan. And I thought about replacing it with a more current one, but the more current ones are like more complicated. So it's like you have to learn this one first and then jump into the more current ones. But just kind of, once you're aware of this 960 grid system, you'll start noticing this in a lot of other places. Like there's one that's common is called Bootstrap. It used to be called Twitter Bootstrap, and then they just changed it to Bootstrap. But this is a CSS framework that includes a lot of stuff for making like mobile-friendly sites, and it includes stuff for buttons and forms and tables and all this stuff. But part of it is it includes a grid system. And Bootstrap is really popular, but it's a lot more complicated than the 960 grid. So I thought it would still be useful to learn the 960 one, and then you can start exploring some of these others.
Okay. Bootstrap.com. Seems interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful tool. It helps. It can help you make really nice looking sites really quick and easily.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna send you these files that I just showed you. Is there anything else you want to look at?
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
Look, I think. I always have questions, sorry.
Yeah. Um, wait, let me turn off screen.
Oh, and I wanted to apologize. I thought that once I shared the website, you could get the link. So from
Yeah,
now on, I'll send the link. I'm sorry.
no, I realized after you replied that that's what you were doing, but it's just because I have all these emails coming in, I forgot. I just didn't even think to look at your
Oh no, I'm
previous
sorry.
site. So.
I was like, oh, I thought I sent it, but I'll just send a link from now on.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Good luck and be in
Thank you.
touch.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.